Hi everyone, okay, so I'm back with another K-drama to see, have you already seen it, and if not, is this something that you would check out? So before we get into this video, you already know the drill. Like this video, follow me for more, and share this with someone that you know that would be into K-dramas and will potentially check this out. So, the name of today's K-drama is called Scarlet Ryeo. Okay, so let's get into it. When the show starts out, we see a young woman and she's sitting out on the street next to a homeless man, and she's essentially, I would say, grieving her previous relationship. She had just found out that her man cheated on her. We didn't get too much detail as to how he cheated, when he cheated, where he cheated, just that he cheated on her. So now she's on a bridge somewhere with a homeless man, and she has some alcohol. The homeless man looks up and kind of says, like gives her a look like, you're gonna share, right? So she's splitting her drink with this homeless man, and she's watching like all the families that are sitting out because there's like water, and she's like on a bridge area, and she's watching like the parents are having like a little picnic and everything, and one of their toddlers kind of like starts wandering off dangerously close to the edge, and she's kind of like looking around like, please tell me somebody sees this kid, please tell me somebody's paying attention to this kid. No one pays attention to the kid. Then the kid falls into the water. She's looking around like maybe the parents noticed that he fell in. No reaction. She gets up, springs up essentially, jumps over the bridge into the water, and she grabs the kid, and then she kind of like brings him up high above water, and that's when the parents notice because they hear all that ruckus going on in the background, and they're like, oh my gosh, now they care. Now they're attentive parents. Dad, some way somehow manages to get his hands on a boat, and he like rows towards her direction, and he's able to pull his child up, and as soon as he tries to pull her up, he's not able to. Like something pulls her in, and then the next scene kind of shows that she's gone back in time. She's back in the Ryeo dynasty, and while she's there, I guess she takes over the body of a woman who she resembles. So I'm realizing about now I should probably give her name. So her name in the show, when she's in, I guess, the 21st century or whatever century it is, her name is Go Hachin, okay? When she travels back in time accidentally, she wakes up in like a woman's body, and her name is Hesu. When she essentially floats up to the top, she's essentially in some kind of like a bath, and it's a bunch of men, and they're not just regular men, they're all princes. So she travels back to the era when King Tejo was ruling. And for a lot of you that probably don't know like the background about this, he was a king who had 25 sons and many other daughters that he would essentially get married, consummate the marriage, and that's how he was holding power, okay? There were a lot of things that happened in that household essentially where like one of the brothers essentially plotted against the others. It's a whole thing. So this is the time frame that she traveled back to. She comes from an era where she's really like well-spoken. She speaks about everything that's going on in her life. And now she's traveled to the past where women, well, not just women, sorry, women of lower class can't really have much of an opinion, not to that extent. And some way, somehow, when she travels back, the character Hesu is living with Hesu's cousin and the cousin's husband, who is the 8th prince. Now, things end up happening, and like, I guess her first lady or her court lady, the one appointed to her, is like going around with her trying to help her jog her memory, and it's just like, come on, like, you're joking around, you obviously remember who you are. And then the girl's like, why are you talking like that? This is not how you talk. So while she's out and about, one of the princes, when she had popped up and surfaced through the water, he sees her and he's just like, you're the one that was like peeking in on me. And this is after she confronts him because she catches him being a peeping Tom. And he says, no, I'm not a peeping Tom. Why are you talking to me like informally? Like, I'm royalty, like I'm a prince. Why are you talking to me any which way kind of thing, right? So she's not backing down. She's like, I don't care who you are. You can't be a peeping Tom. I'm gonna hold you here until people hold you responsible for it. Now girl, you gonna hold this prince liable in that era? I don't think so. She and him get to tussling and she beats his ass. I ain't even gonna lie to you. She beats his ass. So now she is technically like under fire for the fact that, one, why would you put your hands on a royal? Two, a prince at that. If the king wanted to, he could have you, you know? And so now she kind of starts like fearing for her life and everything, but like the prince's brothers are all laughing because that was actually pretty interesting. So, you know, it was what it was. Once the situation arose, they started convincing the youngest prince that, oh, she probably only did that because she likes you. You know, girls only do stuff like that when they like you. And so now he has it in his head like, oh yeah, she's really digging me. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Actually, she does like somebody she ain't supposed to be liking, but she does like somebody. And then that brings us to a scene where she's wandering through the market, and in the earlier scenes, we've seen a man with like a half mask on, and we come to find out that his backstory is that he is the 4th prince. Now, with him being the 4th prince, his mom essentially held him at knife point, because his dad was planning to take another bride, and the mom was, I would say, power hungry, and she didn't want anybody else to have control. Like, she's done a lot of really terrible things, okay? And so she tells him that she's going to get rid of herself and get rid of this child of hers as well if he doesn't refuse to marrying that other person. He's just like, I got to do what I have to do. And what she do? She slashed the boy's face. So now the little boy's crying and bleeding, and she's just looking like, you see what you made me do? Like, girl, what? So come to find out, she couldn't bear to look at what she did to her child. She cast him off. Like, she could care less if he was or not, okay? And so he essentially comes back to the palace, and that's why he has the mask on. It's covering the scar from when his mother did that to him. So while she's, now we're going back to where I was. While she's at the market, he's on his horse traveling through the market roads, and the market is a really tight place. So it's nowhere that a grown man at that, on a grown horse, should be, you know, just gallivanting about. And all of the like townspeople, they kind of like know to like look away, shield their face, you know, whatever the case is. But her, this, you know, outspoken young lady from the 21st century, oh no, she's not backing down. He actually almost hits her with his horse, and she almost fell, and he caught her, and it looked really romantic. He caught her, carried her, picked her up, and then not even a couple steps or a couple yards down, he like pushes her off the horse. She gets up and she says, "Who do you think you are to be doing this to me?" And he like looking at her like, first of all, you're not scared. And she's like, "I don't care who you are. You can't be doing this to me. You need to learn how to treat a lady." Like, she's just going off on him in the middle of the marketplace. And all the townspeople were like, "Yo, this girl is nuts. Like, you don't know who he is? Like, bro was rolling with killers. Okay, he was rolling with killers. Stop talking before we all face it." And then eventually her, I guess her like her court lady or whoever that woman was, finds her and was just like, "Oh, we're so sorry. She had like an accident. She doesn't remember a lot of what she is, and she's just been behaving completely different." And so that's why the guy kind of excuses it. But she continues going off like, "Did you see what he just did?" Like that kind of thing. So as the story, you know, further develops, we kind of see like she eventually ends up in like a situation where no one else has ever seen the prince with his mask off, and she has. And there's a rumor going around that once you've seen him with his mask off, he will unalive you. Okay, so there's that going on. The fact that she is so refreshing to everyone around her, especially in that palace, well, the princess specifically. Okay, so I'm going to briefly interrupt this and pretty much let you know that this fourth prince, according to history, he is, I would say, a tyrant. He unalives his siblings. All of this they say he does for power. And so while she's in that time frame, she's essentially remembering like tidbits of what she learned in her history class. And she is like, wait a minute, I'm unintentionally helping him. And she's also watching the things he's earning through her helping him. So she kind of reaches a point where she's stuck and she has to make a decision. Am I going to continue to help him where he's going to have to, his siblings that I've grown pretty close to, like they're all her friends, or am I just going to keep my distance and not help him get to the point that he's at? Okay. I would highly recommend that you check out this K-drama. There are so many good or great tropes in this. I love IU as a singer, and I also love her as an actress. This was definitely one of those K-dramas that I was sitting on the edge like, what is going on kind of thing. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I was a little frustrated about the end, but I don't regret watching it. So definitely let me know if this is something that you would check out. And if you have already seen it, how did you feel? Let me know in the comments. But okay, thanks for watching. Okay, bye.